paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, that's downright refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery, the podcast where we are not drafting Black Red in the Hobbit. We go against the grain around here. Welcome in. This week, it's just DJ and I. We're hanging out. We're talking The Hobbit. As I mentioned, Black Red, pretty good. Have you gotten any games in of The Hobbit, DJ?
The last draft I did might have been War of the Spark.
Come on.
There might have been another loose one knocking around in there. There might have been.
Do you even have Arena on your computer and or mobile device?
No.
Oh, come on. As I tell people, the trick to Arena was starting in 2019 and never stopping. Getting into it sounds difficult with 7 sets a year.
Are you just like telling people like, oh, you should have bought a house 15 years ago? Like you should have.
Arena very much has
land. Why weren't you just birthed with your bootstraps already pulled up? Mr. Infinite Gems, Mr.
No, I put a lot of money
drinking his sun-kissed with a shitty audio quality, like.
I put a lot of money into Arena over the years, and this is not a shitty Sunkiss. It's an amazing Sunkiss and amazing audio quality to go with it. Welcome into the show, everybody. We've got lots to talk about today, but yeah, I mean, we did want to start there. The Hobbit has not been received well in terms of limited gameplay. They had an Arena Direct over the week. I guess it's still going on. Perhaps when you're listening to this release week, you can win collector boxes of The Hobbit. Those are $900 boxes by playing sealed on Arena. However, the set balance is not great. So word is from those on the Arena streets that you just end up playing 6 or 7 rounds in a row of red-black mirrors. Maybe not the best experience, which is too bad because the original Lord of the Rings set, I don't know if it was an all-timer or anything like that, but I recall it being a pretty enjoyable draft set.
My condolences. I was at a Valley Forge CEDH event that was relatively poorly attended. Appreciate the few people who stopped by who do listen to the podcast and or watch it. But I had an okay weekend besides getting sick Sunday night into Sunday morning.
So you said this was a CEDH event?
Yes, it was a roughly 80 or 85 person CEDH event, somewhere below 100.
Do you feel like coming off of that, I'm not to take this in a different direction, but do you feel like there's still a lot of momentum around the CEDH tournament scene?
I think there is. I don't know if momentum is the right word because that would imply something is like building. There is a pretty large event this or next weekend called Battle at the Bay or Battle of the Bay or something like that in San Francisco. Uh-huh. It's this big invitational that you had to grind some number of points in a system for.
Oh, good for them.
You, I believe it's somewhere between 1 and 200 players at that event. That I will not be at just because the distance logistics are rough going from New York to California. But yeah, I think that the format has a lot of legs. I think that it is one of the better formats for vendors like myself due to the I've said this a couple times I think on the cast, but every person in that format wants to either spend $0 or $10,000 in their deck, and there is not much of an in between. So even if like half or a third of the players are gung-ho on foiling out their decks or making something the most expensive version, it is very good for people who are trying to grind trades or who are trying to build a brand in terms of vending of, oh, I have this Surge Foil Gleaming Splendor, hand me your binder and I will make it happen. Or the vice versa of like, oh, I will take this Surge Foil Gleaming Splendor from you, and you get to go on a shopping spree and buy a bunch of other staples like your Lotus Petals, your Fetches, your Shocks, your what have you. So like those kinds of trades tend to be very good for us in terms of just like providing a very good experience of like, get this very cool thing you can't find anywhere else, or get rid of this cool thing you have and load up your binder with a bunch of cool stuff. So like I find it really difficult to vend or like perceive how to build a display case or like a booth for Magic 60 card formats now, because
I was going to ask that.
I mean, people talk about how like, oh, there's so many cards in each format, like Standard has 18,000 cards or whatever. Like that's like a little bit of it, but there's also the fact that every card has several versions now. So if you bring your regular versions and somebody's like, oh, I wanted the showcase one, or I have one version of this and I wanted to get the other three to match it. There's just a lot of headwinds towards helping somebody build a deck on site. I think the format has or most Magic formats have evolved more to the point where like players are bringing their decks more complete, or they are like, oh, I'm going to have everything I need. I might need one or two cards because I changed my list on the way over, something like that. But Standard and Modern and, I mean, Legacy to an extent, like these and whatever Pioneer is and will be next year, like
coming back,
it really feels like it's tough to cater to that kind of player from a business standpoint. And these are the kinds of cards that sell really well online too, right? So like if I am trying to build a display case of modern staples and I bring Solitudes, I bring Ragavans, I bring Urza Sagas, I bring every other card from MH2 or MH3, like these are all cards that just sell really well online. I need a really big incentive to take those cards offline, categorize them, price them, sleeve them, bring them to the event. That's an opportunity cost of those cards are going offline for a while and then putting them back online when they come back. Like, there's just so many working parts in this system that require me to juggle things around for 60 card players, compared to like, oh, if I just bring a inventory of like the coolest looking cards for Commander players or like the best versions of things for CEDH players, then it becomes much more palatable to go to these events and be a vendor there and like bring your Mox Diamonds, bring your LEDs. I have a non-foil case of things that are $50 and up, and then I have a foil case of things that are roughly $40 and up, and you just get to bring all the cool secret layer stuff that some people just want for their binders. And like there is some crossover of like modern players who are also Commander players, but like I think I would much rather be in a Magic Con style room than anything else. And that one's the hardest to get into, obviously. Like being a vendor at the Magic Con is very, very difficult. You need to know the right people. There's a long wait list. Like it's expensive to be there. The booth starts at like $10 or $12,000 just for some of the worst booths. Like it's a lot. And that's the tough spot of trying to build a brand in this space for events specifically. And one of the reasons I feel like CEDH does have the most legs behind it, and one of the reasons I enjoy it so much, is because you need fewer players to go to the event for the event to be profitable for you and worth it. Like I would rather vend an event for 100 CEDH players than 1,000 sealed deck players.
That's
like
a great question right there. Yeah,
I've been to events where it's like 400 or 500 players in the room for sealed, and the tournament organizer was like, oh, this must be really good for you. And I broke down the math of like, if I buy every person in this room's opened sealed pool, I think I will spend less than the fee you charged me for the booth. And like, they're not thinking of it like that. Like that's my job to think of it like that. And they can feel like they're providing a good service, but it really just goes to show like how much you have to do in business to make events like that worth it. Which I know most people listening to the podcast are not vendors, are not like building their brands to the point where they're like turning this into their own like weekend Collecticon hobby kind of thing. Like it's the barrier to entry is much easier for like Pokemon and sports cards because there's so many shows for those. Like obviously there's way more like non-tournament focused card shows where you're getting like the AI banners popping up everywhere of like trade show this weekend, card show this weekend.
It's
like
true. It's completely exploded.
A mall or whatever like that. Like, and it's tough to be the Magic vendor in that room. I think if you are trying to be a Magic vendor in that room and grow a business in that space, it's really good to just like go to these shows as a connoisseur first. Like you don't lock, like I've had a lot of people just like email me cold calling like, hey, we'd love to have your brand. We saw you're in Syracuse or whatever. Like we'd love to have you at a table here. Like go to the actual event like 1 or 2 times and like just bring a bunch of money and try to buy their Magic cards if they have any. Like there's a couple other different ways you can go about this, but I digress.
I was at a very large card show last weekend that had more sports cards than I've ever seen at one of these. But there were 300 tables, like 300 vendors at this thing.
Yeah, it's
and like
tough
four
space
of
to
them
compete
had any Magic at all.
Yeah.
One person had Power set up. I don't think he's ever going to sell a piece of Power. I wouldn't even want to bring it.
I mean, that is a kind of space where you can offer on that kind of thing, right? Like if somebody is a mostly Magic or if somebody's a mostly Pokemon or sports or Riftbound or One Piece or whatever, like most of their inventory is not Magic, and you're like, hey, I'm willing to take these off your hands. They've probably been sitting in your case at the past 8 shows you've been to, and nobody's asked for them. Can I give you 70 or 80% on all of your Magic cards and make them go away? Like
well, that's an interesting way to
an approach you can take
that.
to this. Yeah,
I was thinking about it from the side of vending because, like, basically, there's just no appetite for Magic at these shows.
I think you can cultivate an inventory of Universes Beyond stuff and like do okay.
I agree. That's the place to start. But and look, the thing is, it's not expensive. Like a lot of these card shows, you're getting a table for $75 or $100.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's
nothing.
Yeah, it's incredibly easy. Although I will say, I was at a card show last weekend, and I heard a vendor say on Saturday afternoon, "Well, I made my booth fee back, so that's all that matters." And it just made me cringe.
There's some people that approach this from like, oh, I'm bringing my kid here for the weekend, and like we're just trying to have a good time and like make the booth fee back and like give them a little experience. Like,
I've been here for 8 hours. I made my $50 back. Woohoo! No, man. And he probably wasn't talking about profit either.
No.
That said, it's so hard to tell. Like, are card trade shows blowing up a sign of the industry getting bigger or smaller? Is it just populated by a bunch of people going, well, I made my $50 back today. Guess I'm a vendor. And they're all just selling to each other and no one's actually making any money.
If you go to a Collecticon, which are sort of one of the larger mixed IP shows, I guess is what you'd want to call it, because those are mostly Pokemon, but it also has Riftbound, One Piece, Digimon, Lorcana, whatever. Most of these Collecticons are just flooded with fans of the IP. It's mostly Pokemon. It does lean mostly Pokemon, but like you can see people cosplaying. You see the people wearing the Charizards around their neck, or they have the Gengar sweaters.
I've not been to anything that is that large. Then
the Collecticons really show, I think, just how big TCGs have gotten. You have like all the streamers and all of the whatnotters and the musical artists like getting into this and like being more comfortable showing off like what their favorite little guy is. Like it is growing, I think, and it's growing at a like obviously we've seen PSA backed up to the degree that they are. Like it's not there is a target customer for all of this, and just the number of raw transactions happening is proof of that, I think.
Yep, that's well said. I do think there is. It's really difficult to tell if it's just the next wave, and obviously I don't think it is, but this is the argument to be made is that a lot of the audience in 2026 is made up of people who were crypto bros, who were NFTers, who were whatever your latest get rich quick scheme is, and there's a lot of feeling in the world that that just make your money as fast as you can, however you can, screw any kind of rules or anything else. And so you have a bunch of people who just kind of view this as put money in, take money out, and that the bottom may or may not fall out of that at some point. What if not to get too real about it, but say a new administration comes into place and actually limits some of the gambling activities going on in the world? Do you see the bottom fall out of a lot of the gambling adjacent activities as well? I don't know. There's a lot to think about, and I do think about it when I go to just these huge card shows populated by people who I think are probably making money, the ones who do it well. But there's such a class of people who are willing to do it for free that it does flip the tipping point at some point when everybody on both sides of the table thinks that they're a vendor.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are reasonable points to make. I still think that the crypto bro, NFT bro is the minority by a pretty long shot in a lot of these shows.
Yeah,
they exist, but like.
And well, shout out to, Pokemon Company obviously is putting up their own plant next year. Supposed to open, be full production by 2028 to put out more cards. And also, places like Target, some of them at least, are taking the wrapping off the product when they sell it to you. So that at least undercuts some of that.
I don't think they're supposed to do that.
Well, it's been going around the internet that some of them are. So, maybe everything's regional or, probably branch managed. And maybe that was just employees who weren't supposed to be doing that and they got in trouble for it. I don't know. But in general, I have seen that trend at LGS as well, where if you rip the packaging off it when you buy it, you get a lower price.
I've seen a couple people offering we'll pay X amount of dollars for the headliner Smaug, and we'll pay X plus more if you open it in store and sell it to us. Which I think is a neat way to go about it. Yeah,
that's cool. I actually was going to play last weekend in a Commander tournament for a Hobbit Collector Box. It was going to be a Bracket 3 Commander tournament. Does that sound like a good idea?
Sounds like the most miserable bracket to play. A C88 tournament, Bracket 5, everyone has rules and expectations, and the plan is to go as hard as possible, and you are all ex-standard or modern expats who are trying to do the thing. And then a Bracket 1 tournament is very funny, just conceptually, because then you get to have a Rule 0 judge of yes, you're allowed to play your everyone in the artwork has a candle, or yes, this counts as Bracket 1 because all of my cards are old border printed before 1995. And then you just get a hodgepodge of nonsense where none of the games ever end. Bracket 3 feels like the worst possible number to do that with.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of excited to try. I called and talked to the people at the store, and it was at a small store in Oklahoma. So it was either going to be the best deal ever or just terrible, right? I called and asked a couple questions about it, and they said, we just go by what's on the rules. They'd say the rules committee, the Wizards committee says this and that. If you just send me a Moxfield list. And I was like, okay, I have a Carador deck that is pretty toxic, but it is technically Bracket 3. So sure, I would like to go win a collector box, and I was going to drive 2 hours to play in this tournament. On Saturday night, before I'm supposed to go on Sunday, I get on their website to send them my list on Moxfield after I just spent 30 minutes perfecting it, and I see that they have changed the event. Literally, the Facebook event, the graphic had been replaced, and I could tell because someone had sent me a screenshot of it originally, and they changed it from win a collector box to win collector packs. $40 entry, one collector pack added to the pool per player. And I'm sorry, there's a big difference between winning 7 loose booster collector packs and winning a sealed Hobbit box. So I did not. I went to the pool with my family instead.
How many players attended this tournament?
I don't know. I'm interested to get a follow-up on it, to be honest, because they seem to have a number of events, and I don't know what happened, if they just sold through their product or, the box went too high, so they decided that, we're not... I don't really know what happened to change it, but I do know that it got changed on me, and therefore my Commander tournament career ended before it started.
How sad for you.
I know. All right. Well, before we get to Breaking Bulk, I have a different kind of game for you here, DJ.
Okay.
And this is maybe just a question. Maybe people at home find this interesting, maybe not. You can let us know in the comments at youtube.com/Brainstorm Brewery. But I was having a discussion yesterday at the store about what I should do with a particular Magic card. that card was a foil invasion Dromar the Banisher. JJ can put that one up on screen here, but this is one of that original cycle of invasion dragons.
Corbin, what do you think? Where do you think I'm looking up this card right now?
Oh, I bet it's MTG Band, DJ.
It is MTG Ban. MTG Ban is the beloved sponsor of this podcast. They are a data aggregate website that you've probably heard us talk about, unless this is your first episode, in which case, welcome to the podcast. We normally have 3 people on here. Liz is away right now. But you're going to hear us talk about this lovely website if you've never heard about it. It is a Patreon subscription where you can get access to a Discord server full of vendors like myself and a bunch of wonderful data. It pulls together all the buy lists like Card Kingdom, Star City Strike Zone, cool stuff, Hardaria, etc., mana pool, TCG player data, everything. So I can pull up Dromar, I can look it up with Scryfall information, which is very handy. I can also just type in the set code and collector number to pull up anything, which is especially useful in the time of nonsense where every card has 85 versions.
I use set codes all the time now. Absolutely. It's
so nice. And so for Dromar the Banisher, I am looking at this right now. TCG low is 103. TCG market's 105. TCG low for near mint is 135. Card Kingdom will pay you $90. Star City will pay you $80. Cool Stuff will pay you $45. Card Market low, which is the European version of TCG Player, has cheaper copies, but they're not in English. Mana Pool has an MP one for 86. There's a lot of data up here. What's your question, Corbin?
Yeah, so the question is, do you take this Dromar we have is heavily played to damaged?
Sure.
Because it's kind of got some like crinkles in the back, right? Like it
makes sense. The card's older than 9/11.
God. Yes.
Did this card cause 9/11?
It's also very minty on the front, which is to say that
Doesn't
a commander
matter.
player... I know. It doesn't matter when you're listing the card online. It does matter to commander players who are boomers and just want to put this beautiful looking foil invasion Dromar into a deck. And to them, you can charge a much different price than you can charge for the heavily played damaged online. Do you think that it is conceptually better to list the card online at, say, and this one works out because it's, as you said, it's 135 low near mint. The market price is around 100 on it. Do you think it's better to put this in the store at, say, $75, $80, or to sell on TCG Player at $55 or $60?
I think you should put this in the case at $55 or $60 and be very happy if it moves.
So you don't think it moves well online then? Is that the fault?
Well, you can click through Ban to the actual page and then look at the TCG Player data. The last heavily played foil copy of this card sold over 3 months ago at $53. So there was one that also sold 3 months ago for $54. So I do not think you will have any luck unless you just find a fish who doesn't know how to condition cards, which you might. You're in Oklahoma. That's a possibility. But if this card walked up to me, I would pay 25 or 30 in cash, and then I would hopefully sell it for around 50 to 60 with a very low velocity.
Yep, it's certainly low velocity. I do think that condition, and this is going to sound weird to say, the condition that under which people operate when they're buying cards in person to play is very different than when people are buying cards online and they're staring at prices and make their decision based on that. In person, a lot of times it really is just convenience, right? Like, this card's in front of me, I want to get it. Oh, it's played? Cool, that's why it's discounted. I'll take it. We actually went with the secret door number 3 option of put it in the case, but also list it online. Because it's never going to move in either. But
that
I do
works,
think it's just,
but you need to have a system in place to make sure things are
correct.
Consistently taken offline when they sell in person, or consistently removed from the case when they are sold online.
Yes, it is definitely a thing. If you do a lot of, you need a system, a big system for. We're testing it out with this Dromar because we couldn't agree on what to do with it. I wanted to throw it up in the store. coworker wanted to throw it up online. We both agreed it was never going to go anywhere anyway, but we got to figure it out. So we ended up just doing both. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think it just brings up the interesting thought process of like what is desirable online versus what is desirable in person, and how much sort of like that shiny thing in front of me factor can play a difference in cards like this. And you can kind of extend it to like, is it good to have flashy show pieces of expensive cards in your case, even if they never sell, when you could list them online and make money by selling them?
It's important to have expensive cards in your case because you need to look like somebody who can buy collections.
Sure.
That, like, if anybody ever like walks into your store and the most expensive card in your case is $20, they're never going to sell you a dual land because they think you can't afford it.
Yeah, or they think you're not gonna. That's a good point. Or they think you're not gonna pay as much or whatever because you're just not used to dealing in that kind of stuff. I love to have a case full of flashy Universe Beyond Surge foil things, right? Like I think that's very cool, even if they're pretty low volume. I think it's good to have aspirational stuff for people to look at. But again, like this is just an interesting conversation because you certainly are the one always pushing, but all of us are. Churn cards, buy card, sell card, make money, move on. And it brings up sort of the question of how much money should you have not doing any work in low volume cards sitting in a case. Now, I don't know if anyone actually finds this interesting or not. Again, let us know in the comments.
I would tell you to have a minimal amount of bullshit that you own. Like, keep it to a minimum. But I also own 5 copies of Chains of Mephistopheles, so I can't be the pot calling the kettle black here.
Well, you just said you would pay $25 for a beat-up foil Dromar from Invasion that hasn't sold online in 3 months, and no one wants it in person.
Yes, because I know CK is paying $36, and I will take my $45 in store credit and then like buy something on CK for several $100s and be happy putting that in the case instead.
Sure. The layers come in. But
and
you know what? Layers
ban is the reason I know that exists. Promo code BSBBAN, BSBBAN, gets you 50% off your first month. We forgot to mention that during the original pitch. Actually, we didn't forget. We intentionally layered it, so this whole part was a pitch. Mm-hmm. You listened to the whole thing without realizing it was a pitch. That's
Sponsored
how good we are.
Yeah.
At our pitch.
That's the next step, obviously, DJ. That's what all the big shows do is you just sponsor individual segments. You get your 12 minutes of sponsored time in the show, and then the next sponsor gets the next 12 minutes of time. Maybe that'll be us one day. All right, it's not going to be us one day. All right, moving on. It's time for Breaking Bulk. It's time to make you all some money.
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
I have an especially sadistic one for Corbin.
Oh, Nito, I love that.
And then I have a normal one to make him feel better about himself. Which one would you like me to start? Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
I'd like the bad news first, always.
All right, I have an Avatar art card.
Okay. Katara. I hate Katara.
What? Why do you hate Katara?
I lost to it a lot in draft.
Skill issue.
Yeah, I didn't draft it. What? No one knows what that is. No one cares. Uncle Iroh.
Nope. It is a character who is beloved in the show. I will say that. And it's a number you cannot fathom.
Korra.
Nope. There are no Korra cards.
I'd never watched the show.
Okay. If you are lucky enough or masochistic enough to look through your own Avatar art cards for things that are worth money, the gold stamped signature version of the Unlucky Cabbage Merchant is roughly wait, what do you think the number is?
Of what?
The TCG player price history for the art card gold stamped signature of Unlucky Cabbage Merchant. He's like, my cabbages. Like he's the guy who always he's the unluckiest.
Yeah, and he died in real life, and now his cabbages are worth a lot of money. Go on.
There are sales consistently for this price unit at roughly $100.
That's really weird.
I agree, but that's the point of this segment, is to show our listeners weird cards that are worth money that they wouldn't expect. I stumbled upon this, and the most recent sale for this art card is August 2nd, which is 2 weeks ago, which is, again, a low volume. This is like not quite as low volume as Dromar the Banisher, but like it has more than 3 sales in the past month at or over $100.
Sure,
So,
man. That's a good find, to be
The
honest.
current listed low is 300. I respect the ambition on that person. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. I don't know how
Clearly.
or why these are so scarce. It might be like a weird how the packs are allocated, or like shuffle. Like it might just be like a really, really rare thing in collector boxes.
Might have been a printing error. That
I have
so
no
few-
idea. I just know, if you know, get in the comments. Teach me, explain like I'm 5 why this is worth $100. But the art card with a gold stamp signature for the Unlucky Cabbage Merchant, 100 United States dollars. Corbin, here's my regular pick. It is a promo pack card from Dragons of Tark, or not Dragons of Tarkir, promo pack card from Tarkir Dragonstorm.
How is that better?
Because you are a standard person, you should know what the standard cards are.
What the hell does you mean a promo pack card?
You know how the commons and uncommons from promo packs have like the different border?
Okay, you mean like a showcase?
No, it's called a promo pack. Like the rares and mythics have the planeswalker stamp, the commons and uncommons are a different frame.
Oh, okay, I understand.
You know what I'm talking about now?
Well, I know about the stamp. I didn't realize. I guess I don't think about it very much. Okay, sure. I have no idea.
Strategic Betrayal is
that
a
card's good.
Tarkir Dragonstorm uncommon, 1 in a black sorcery. Target opponent exiles a creature they control and their graveyard, not or, it's and. So it's a little edict effect that just happens to wipe their graveyard if they're doing graveyard related things in standard. It's just a card that you can buy list a Card Kingdom for around 50 to 75 cents. I also found this through the power of automation, my Roka, and then my Card Kingdom and my band subscription. This card was pulled from bulk and turned into Card Kingdom store credit with minimal effort on my end, mostly thanks to Ban. MTG Ban.
All right, very well done. I have a, this might be guessable, I don't know though, a black uncommon for Modern Horizons 3. It's very recently worth more money than it was.
MH3.
Yeah, it had the transform lands. It's not one of those, if that helps you. The like creature.
I was gonna guess. I was just gonna go down the list of like Felder Profane and Bogart.
No, it's not. Velvet Profane, of course, is a pick. It's $4, but that's not it.
I don't know. I concede. We can accept a draw on this one. Actually, I still win because I brought 2 picks and he brought 1.
It is Marionette Apprentice. It's over $2. It's a 1/2 for 2. Fabricate 1. But here's the line of text that matters. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life.
Blood Artist effects are worth money consistently.
Disciple the Vault.
I don't know how many Blood Artist / Disciple the Vault effects have existed that aren't worth money. Most of them are. If it has that line of text on it, you should look. Maybe like Falconwrath Noble is like one of the original ones. But,
yeah, I mean, this one is a lot of them are Blood Artists. This one is Disciple the Vault and Blood Artist.
Yes.
And it's each opponent loses 1 life. Although I guess if you're going infinite, it doesn't matter if it's each or at one at a time. But either way, it's worth $2.50. Marionette Apprentice. Pick them up.
All right. We have been through the first couple segments. We did a breaking bulk. We did a whatever Corbin wants to talk about, where he's like, oh, let's talk about Hobbit or standard cards or whatever. We did those. We did his weird little like inquisition as to like what he should do with a card, even though he's been doing this for 20 years and he should know how to sell cards. All right. The listeners requested it. We've brought it back. We have brought back Banger or Bust. We are going to talk about cards that from other card games that we know.
Oh, okay.
And some of you might have played some of these other card games in the past. We've talked about Riftbound before. We've talked about Pokemon TCG. We talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! I have a depth of card games that I've played in the past. We're bringing Legends of Runeterra into the mix. This is the pre-Riftbound card game made by Riot Games, a digital client that is very, very close to my heart. They kind of butchered it in the past few years. They converted it from a cool Hearthstone model into a single-player roguelike Slay the Spire copy.
What?
Yeah, they realized that they could monetize the single-player progression more, I think, if at anything. I don't know, but
What you mean is the player base fell off for the competitive...
Well, they stopped supporting it because they didn't make enough money on the game, but they went the opposite of the arena system where, like, they made everything too free. Like, when you played Runeterra during early COVID, the most effective way to play once you finished your draft was to close the client and reopen it because there were 17 reward screens.
Okay.
The game would just give you a million of everything, and so, like, you could save 30 seconds by just closing and opening the client again, so all the stuff would just go to your inventory instead of watching the animations. Anyway, I am going to post some cards into our little chat channel, and Corbin is going to tell me if these cards were at any point, so, like, at any point in the game's history, was this card a banger or a bust? And we're going to start off...
I know nothing about this game.
We're going to start off simple. So, Corbin, I'll give you a little bit of information about the game, like the core mechanics. It is very Hearthstone pilled. You each get a mana every turn. There's creatures, there's spells, there's units. One of the, I guess, like, unique traits of the mana system is you can bank up to 3 mana for spells. So, like, you can go past turn 1, past turn 2, play a 6-drop on turn 3, but if it's a spell. Combat happens left to right, so like you will assign your attackers, your opponent will assign their blockers, and then your leftmost combat will happen first, trigger effects, etc., etc., etc. So like if you have a guy on the right side of your combat that says like that it is a blood artist, he will get all of his effects off first, but if you swap him to the front, he'll like die first and it won't happen. We're gonna start off simple though. We like Corbin. We think Corbin deserves a chance at this game. We're gonna show him the bull Elnuck, which is the region system is basically colors. So like there's the blue region, which is very ice and tundra themed. Like this is a Freljord card. Every deck is 1 or 2 colors, depending on which champions you pick. You can pick up to 2 champions. They're like your heroes. Again, very Hearthstone like. But this is a bull Elnuck. It is a 4 mana 4/5. That's it.
It's a Snowwind. I mean, it's a Snowwind Yeti. Speaking of Hearthstone.
Sure, I've never played Hearthstone, but this is a
there's a 4/5 vanilla for 4. Same card, and it's even Tundra themed as well.
Yeah. Was this card at any point a banger, or am I tricking you into thinking a vanilla card was playable?
This card was not good.
Why? Explain your reasons.
Because it's a vanilla card in a card game.
Is that your final answer?
I feel like if any point the card Bull Elnuck was an extremely good card, this game would still be alive. Because that is a great meme.
What if I showed you his friends?
Troop of Elnucks. Play for the top 6 cards in your deck. Summon each Elnuck and shuffle. Oh, so you can just you have collected company for Elnucks. Oh, also it's a creature. It's a collected company on a creature.
So, what if I told you that Troop of Elnucks used to look at the top 10 cards of your deck?
Oh,
and
well then
you could just play a max copies of each of these cards, and the second you hit turn 5, you just flooded the board with 14
I guess,
power.
man. Is Monstrous Carabid, was that card ever good in Magic? Is that or was Living In good? You know?
It was a staple. It was a banger.
I mean, I hear you. I don't know. I understand.
The rate was not bad. 4 mana 4/5 is not bad. It's good. Like most creatures from the vanilla from the foundation set were like 3 mana 3/3s or 3 mana 4/3 or like 4 mana 4/3s or whatever. Like it is above rate, and it crashed into things. and you just got to play Troop of Elnuks and just summon them all. And the
Troop of Elnuks is a broken card. Yes,
it was good enough to get nerfed.
I mean, I'm actually in awe of how 4 mana gets you a 4/5 vanilla, but 5 mana gets you a 3/3 that puts all the 4/5s into play from the top 10 for free. Like, that's just an insanity design. Go on. That's my.
These
take.
were also the only Elnuks, by the way. Like, these are the 2 you got. There were no other Elnuks legal.
Oh, okay. Well, how big was your deck? Like 30 cards?
40.
And how many could you have of each?
3.
So, okay.
You're normally hitting 2 other Elnuks and getting like 10 plus power for 5 mana.
Yeah. Or you can play a Bull Elnuk for 4 and get a 4/5. Good for Troop of Elnuks. That card's insane. What's next?
Next up, we have one of my favorite cards in the game, Warning Shot. Warning Shot is a 0 mana burst speed spell, which burst speed basically means it has split second. Your opponent cannot react to this. Your opponent cannot interact. It just goes off. They can't counterspell. They can't in response. 0 mana, deal 1 damage to the enemy nexus. So their life total. It's the same as you start at 20.
Does this cost you a card?
It is a card in your deck, yes.
How many life points does the Nexus have?
20. This is basically gut shot, but it doesn't cost you life.
I'm probably getting tricked here again.
It can't hit creatures.
I'm going to say no.
No to what? No, it's good or no, it's bad?
It should be bad, but you're about to tell me there's some card that says if your opponent's exactly
that part of this game, Corbin, is that you don't have all the context.
I know.
As a expert card game player, you have to use your very big galaxy brain and think about what kinds of reasons they would make to design this card. What other mechanics could the game have? Like, use your big brain and reverse engineer the set that this card came from. Like, why would they make this card, and is that good?
All right, so it says Warning Shot, so it's obviously my boy Gangplank themed here, okay? So
yep.
I'm already in on that. I assume there's something that would deal damage to both Nexuses and therefore would be considered symmetrical, but then when you get them to 1, you can just split second theirs to death. So,
are you saying it's good now?
That's if it's good, that's the path for it being good. I think it's more likely the card was bad because it could theoretically be a very simple, lava spike. Lava spike was good, I guess, but lava
spike
axe
was good.
Lava axe type card. What's the answer?
I gotta find something. Hang on.
Oh no, means he's about to say it was so good with Gangplank.
This set from the Bilgewater expansion, set to Rising Tides, had a mechanic called Plunder. And Plunder was Bloodthirst. If your opponent has been dealt damage this turn, you get the effect.
Okay.
So, when we play cards like Black Market Merchant, which is a 2-mana 2/2, when you draw an enemy card, reduces cost by 1, and Plunder Nab 1. So Nab is you draw a card from the opponent's deck. So if you fill your deck with cards that trigger when you have dealt damage this turn with your Bloodthirst mechanic, sure. you will inevitably get chances to trigger Plunder that are free. You will have plenty of card advantage because you'll have things like Plunder draw 2 or Plunder draw 3.
So it makes up for the card you give up.
It makes up for the fact that you're paying a card to get a card.
Right. Okay. DJ filled it with all bangers. That was the secret. Shout out to Legends of Runeterra, by the way. I remember that game having a lot of great reviews when it came out, but it just kind of faded.
Yeah, I will explain. I already explained it. That's kind of why the game died out. I wish that they had been able to commit further and been willing to extract a little more value from players to make the game worthwhile. I remember playing the game consistently, playing my drafts every week, playing Ranked Ladder and all these other things, and feeling like I was not giving them enough money for the amount of cards I was getting. So I bought the occasional skin and deck box or whatever, Battlefield graphics to give them
I totally
some money.
understand. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more card. I know not everyone listening to the podcast is listening to this. Some people have skipped over it, but we're having fun, and that's okay. Corbin can get revenge on me next week with the Hearthstone or something. We have one
I
more
guess so. I
card.
didn't realize you didn't know Hearthstone.
I don't know Hearthstone. There's plenty of card games you could pick from. We're going to look at a champion unit this time. We're going to look at Garen.
Garen, regeneration. When I'm summoned, give other allies +1 this round. Level up. I've struck twice.
So that is just dealing damage in any way. If you have a fight spell, that is striking.
Yeah, okay.
If he goes in combat, if he hits the opponent, if he has...
What's he get?
He levels up to this. So you will basically... He's a flip card. All the champions are flip cards. You will level up and get this.
When I'm summoned, give other allies +1 this round. So same thing.
Well, wait. Keep reading. There's more text on the card.
Oh, round start, rally. Does that mean make a token?
It means you get to attack. So
Oh,
normally
you
you
get an extra
attack
combat?
every other turn. Normally you attack every other turn. Like I'm attacking on odds, you're attacking on evens. Like turn 1, I attack.
Sure, I
turn 2,
hear
you
you.
attack. Turn 3, I attack. When you flip Garen, you are attacking every turn. So like even if your opponent has an attack token, you can also attack after they're done.
Interesting.
And regeneration is like he has magic health. Like he will heal at the end of every turn instead of like accumulating damage until he dies.
I mean, I would say that this card is good because extra combat's got to be broken. That's a whole
extra combat, very good in Runeterra. I will say that. I'm not giving you a hint, but I'm saying that like the rally effect is powerful, but is flipping Garen easy enough?
Yes, surely there's fight spells.
There are fight spells.
Combat plus a fight spell and you flip him. I'm calling banger.
Garen is not good.
This is bad. This game's bad. This game sucks. This game is horrible.
You
it died.
beat me when we were guessing Riftbound cards with Liz, and you said the game was great.
I was talking about Runeterra. If my impressions are wrong, it must be the game's fault.
Garen is not easy. Like striking twice can be a problem when there are combat tricks that stun you out of combat or reduce your
The
power to
refractory
0.
period gets him.
Or yeah, I mean, 5 mana is a lot for a 5/5. Like this guy's 1 more mana than Bull Elnock, and Bull Elnock gives you.
Well, it's a 4/5.
And regeneration is like okay, but he doesn't have trample. He doesn't have first strike. He's not always going to survive. And if you can flip him and have a bunch of other units in play, that is good.
I guess
But
it is kind of a win more.
It's a win more. And Garen is not a champion. There's a lot of other things in the 5 slot you want to play in this deck. Sorry, Corbin, you went over 3.
No, I went 3 for 3. If you think about it that way,
That
you can only get every answer wrong if you know how to get every answer right.
I was stunned and removed from combat. I didn't strike this turn. I do not get to level myself up and rally.
Oh man,
Corbin's verbal jujitsu was a burst speed stun. Jesus Christ.
We can rally around these picks of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
What a great transition that was. I have a banger. It's Kozilek's Command. Modern Horizons 3 rare. Kozilek's Command is $8.
Did Liz pick this card recently? Have you checked?
I hope not, because I picked it right now. Let's find out. Nope, I'm clean. No one's picked Kozilek's Command, but they should have, because it's starting to move, just starting to move from $8. It's climbed up from 6 to 8 slowly over the course of the summer.
Wait, JJ, can you replace every instance of Kozilek Command with K Command and make our listeners gaslit into buying the wrong card? Can you just say K Command and all of our Boomer listeners get tricked and all of our Zoomer listeners make money? Can we do that?
That's a really good point, DJ. That would be an incredible mind trick. But yes, you should pick up your K commands around the $8 mark, because it's at least a $10 card, but it's probably more than that, because it might actually be the best card in Modern. Whether it's the actual Eldrazi colorless decks that use it quote unquote fairly, or the decks that realize that if you have infinite mana and any of that mana is colorless, you can just scry X, then draw a card and just go through your whole deck. So busted card. Modern Horizons 3, 2+ years old now. So pick your K commands up under 10.
Card Kingdom is paying you retail on them for whatever that's worth. Any instance where Card
About
Kingdom is
$8,
paying
$9.
full retail or 100% of TCG market value. It's worth looking into. They have a lot of data behind their little algorithm, and sometimes you can bet against them, but sometimes you just lean into what they're doing and sell them the card.
Yep. Also true. I mean, if you can get retail for your card, what more are you asking? Like, for the card to go to 15 and then you only get 10, 12 anyway? Because once the card's topped out, Card Kingdom's unlikely to be paying retail.
Yeah. I agree with that. I personally am looking at all of these Silver Scroll foils. I picked up a lot of these earlier this year, back in the spring, and I was pretty bullish on them, and they've dropped a little bit since then, which is surprising. I thought that was a good time to pick them up. I'm doubling down.
Okay.
I'm looking at the MTG ban graph for cards like Jessica's Will. It has reached its lowest point since around June. It spiked in June to like $700. It's down to $450. Card Kingdom buy list for the card is $400. That's a very, very thin spread. I'm looking at Force of Will. I'm looking at Culling the Weak. I'm looking at Dismember. These are all staples in their respective formats. Not all of them, but like all of the good ones, I should say. Like these are the more often than not the best versions of their cards. There are a few that are not the best versions of their cards, but like specifically the ones where this is the best version. Especially Jessica's Will. I think these are some really, really strong pickups for the future. Secrets of Strixhaven collector boxes have faded into oblivion, kind of, in the face of the Hobbit, in the face of all the new stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if you look at some of the numbers on these, I think that they are very, very strong pickups. I need Silver Scroll Jessica's Will for my case for Seed Age events. Every time I have had one, it has lasted a shorter and shorter amount of time, and I like them. I keep selling out of Culling the Weak. I keep selling out of Brain Freeze, like just the good ones. And
Yeah, the Secrets of Strixhaven feels like kind of a set that will be fondly remembered. It set the record for modern day attendance. I think it's going to be looked back on very well, and the cards are likely to do very well as too. Also, wouldn't be shocked if we get more exploration of Strixhaven or the plane of Strixhaven at some point, which would, of course, cause all the previous Silver Scrolls to spike again. So there's just a very long and profitable looking runway for the entire class of cards.
Yeah, I mean, Star City is paying $100 on crop rotation. TCG low is $120. Like, I have faith in these in the long term. They look gorgeous. If you've never held or touched one, they're very, very well done.
Yep.
Some of my favorite foilings I've ever seen.
All right. Well, I think that might wrap it up for us this week. We want to thank everyone for listening. Shout out to our sponsor, MTG Ban. Shout out to everyone who goes to patreon.com/BSB and helps support this podcast by becoming a patron. It is by far the most beneficial thing to support the podcast that you can do, outside of, I guess, sharing it with a friend. So everybody, thanks for listening to Brainstorm Brewery this week. We will be back next week with Liz, and we will see you then.